So years ago, I'm driving along on a Monday, and Lois tells me, hey, Ken, you need to be more clear when you preach with the gospel. And to be honest with you, it kind of irked me, because Lois doesn't have any books on homiletics, and I have lots of books on homiletics. And Lois has never taken any courses on preaching, and I know you can't tell, but I've taken lots of courses on preaching. So I'm like, I was just looking at her thinking, and on top of that, don't tell a Baptist preacher that he didn't make the gospel clear. That's just like, that's rude, So I just look over her, and I was kind of irked with her. I kind of looked at her, and I said, what? I said, I make the gospel plain all the time. She goes, well, I don't want to argue, I just feel like you should be really clear with the gospel every time. And we talked about that a little bit, and then we decided we just wouldn't talk about it anymore. Well, then on the next Sunday morning, I thought I had some fun with her. I love her, and I thought I had some fun with her. So I got a pulpit here at First Baptist in Fremont, and then Lois and the family would always sit on a pew right over here. And so at one point in my message, I just kind of walked over here in front of the pew, and I preached the gospel like Billy Graham. I just the Bible said, I just really preached the gospel. And then I kind of looked at her and winked, and then I walked back over to the pulpit, and I finished my message. And I just sort of had some fun with her, and of course I preached the gospel, and that was good fun. And she said, you're an idiot, that day over lunch, and then I went to bed that night, and I got up real early in the morning, and when I got up, our computer was in our bedroom back then. I walked over, logged on to the computer, and I had an email from a young man named Jeff Bays. Jeff was dating a girl named Nancy in our church. She brought him to our church because she liked him, but she wasn't sure he was saved, even though he was a religious guy, or he had a religious family. He wrote me an email, and he says, I've been listening to you preach for a number of weeks, but yesterday morning I realized that I wasn't saved, and I want to come to know the Lord. I wish I could take you to that farm up by New Era, and you could see Jeff and Nancy Bays and their horses and their kids, and he's just a godly guy who loves the Lord, and I think Lois helped me lead him to the Lord.